Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Anita Anand with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government is committed for transforming lives of farmers in the country. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates world's largest cricket stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad, stadium named as Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium. Home Minister Amit Shah says Ahmedabad has become a world-class sports hub. Government directs public sector banks to facilitate quick and easy loan disbursal under the PM Swanidhi scheme. India's economic recovery entered into a consolidation phase in January 2021, says credit rating agency ICRA. Supreme Court dismisses petitions seeking extra chance for last attempt civil service examination 2020. UPSC adds Leh as exam centre for civil service candidates from Ladakh. Centre deputes high-level multidisciplinary teams to 10 states for COVID response and management. National COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 97.25%, over 1 crore 21 lakh people vaccinated so far. Schools reopen in Telangana for class 6th to 8th from today. And in cricket, India to take on England in third test this afternoon in Ahmedabad. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today reiterated the centre's commitment for transforming lives of farmers in the country. In a series of tweets on the completion of 2 years of PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana today, Mr. Modi said the scheme has played an important role in the resolution that the country has taken to make the lives of farmers easier. He said the farmers in the country are also actively becoming an integral part of the Self-Reliant India campaign. The Prime Minister today said that the transformation in the lives of crores of farmers due to PM Kisan has motivated everyone to work further for their development. The Prime Minister said over the last 7 years the government has taken many initiatives for transforming the agriculture sector. He asserted that efforts including for better irrigation, technology, credit availability, access to larger markets, crop insurance, focus on soil health, to elimination of middlemen, among others, have resulted in positive outcomes. He said the centre had the honour of ushering a historic increase in the minimum support price MSP of food grains and other agri-products. Mr. Modi assured that the government is committed towards doubling the farmers' income. PM Kisan was started with a view to augment the income of the farmers by providing income support to all landholding farmers' families across the country. A report.
Under the PM Kisan scheme, an amount of 6,000 rupees per year is transferred in 3 installments of 2,000 rupees directly into the bank accounts of the farmers. The scheme initially provided income support to all small and marginal farmers' families across the country holding cultivable land up to 2 hectares. Its ambit was later expanded to cover all farmer families in the country irrespective of the size of their land holdings. Affluent farmers have been excluded from the scheme. Since this scheme started, more than 1,10,000 crore rupees have reached the account of farmers. With Anupam Mishra, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
Home Minister Amit Shah has congratulated all farmers on the successful completion of 2 years of PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. Mr. Shah said that PM Kisan scheme has empowered the farmers and provided them with dignity. He said the scheme is proving to be a blessing for farmers by benefiting more than 11 crore farmers. Mr. Shah thanks the Prime Minister for the positive efforts towards making farmers self-reliant. He said the government is committed towards doubling farmers' income.
President Ramnath Kovind today inaugurated the newly constructed world's largest Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad. President Kovind has also laid the foundation stone of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's sports enclave at newly built cricket stadium. Speaking on this occasion, Union Home Minister Amit Shah announced that the newly constructed world's largest cricket stadium at Motera will be known as the Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium. He said that Ahmedabad has become the world-class sports hub with infrastructure that can host any international sports event with a short notice. He said that Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium at Motera, Sardar Patel Sports Enclave and another sports complex in Naranpura area of Ahmedabad will be the part of these sports infrastructure. Mr. Shah said that Motera Cricket Stadium will accommodate 132,000 spectators. He said that no stadium in the world has the facilities and infrastructure which have been provided at the world's largest Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium.
स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स जो बनेगा, जिसका ये विशाल स्टेडियम भी एक हिस्सा होगा, इस स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स में विश्व स्तरीय सभी खेलों की व्यवस्था यहाँ पर होगी और देश और दुनिया के सभी खेलों के सभी खिलाड़ियों को ट्रेनिंग की भी व्यवस्था पर यहाँ पर होगी, उनके कोचिज को रहने की भी व्यवस्था होगी और एक साथ 3,000 बच्चे यहाँ पर अलग अलग खेलों का ट्रेनिंग ले सके, इस प्रकार की व्यवस्था का आज निर्माण और उसकी शुरुआत, इसका भूमि पूजन महामहिम राष्ट्रपति महोदय के हाथ से हो रहा है.
Mr. Shah said that we are focusing on creating the best ever sports infrastructure at district level so that budding talents can get its benefit.
18 एकड़ का एक नया स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स बनेगा. सरदार पटेल स्पोर्ट्स एनक्लेव, नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम और नारायणपुरा में बनने वाला स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स, ये तीनों मिलाकर किसी भी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्पर्धा में खेलने वाले सभी खेलों को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर खेलने की पूरी व्यवस्था एक ही शहर में एक ही जगह पे हो जाएगी. ये मुझे लगता है अहमदाबाद के लिए गौरव की बात है.
Our correspondent reports that due to COVID-19 pandemic, only 50% spectators have been allowed inside the stadium. Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium, that spreads across over 63 acres of land, has 3 entrances. It has 76 air-conditioned corporate boxes with a seating capacity of 25 each. It has an Olympic-sized swimming pool and 4 dressing rooms, a parking area that can accommodate around 3,000 cars and 10,000 two-wheelers. The stadium has a clubhouse with 55 rooms, gymnasium, indoor practice pitches and food courts. Instead of floodlights, LED lights have been installed on the roof of Motera Stadium.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Tamil Nadu and Puducherry tomorrow to inaugurate and lay the foundation for several developmental projects. He will lay the foundation stone of multiple infrastructure projects worth over 12,400 crore rupees in Coimbatore tomorrow evening. He will dedicate the Neyveli new thermal power project to the nation. The project was built at a cost of about 8,000 crore rupees. The 709 megawatt solar power project of NLCIL, built at a cost of over 3,000 crore rupees, will also be dedicated to the nation tomorrow. In Puducherry, the Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone for 4-laning of NH 45A, 56 kilometers, Sattanathapuram Nagapattinam package of Villupuram to Nagapattinam project covering Karaikal district. Mr. Modi will also lay the foundation stone of the Medical College building at Karaikal new campus. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of a synthetic athletic track in Indira Gandhi Sports Complex, Puducherry. Mr. Modi will inaugurate the Blood Centre at Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Postgraduate Medical Education and Research, JIPMER, Puducherry. The 73rd birth anniversary of former Chief Minister Jayalalitha was celebrated all over Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister Edapadi Palanisamy and Deputy Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam today paid floral tributes at her memorial and inaugurated an exhibition portraying her life and also of her mentor and late Chief Minister MGR. Earlier today, leaders garlanded her statue kept at the party headquarters and planted saplings at Jayalalitha campus in the city. More from our correspondent.
Tributes were also paid to the late leader by the AIADMK cadres all over the state. People paid floral tributes to her portraits kept in public places and distributed sweets and welfare schemes. The charismatic 6-time Chief Minister Amma died on December 5th in the year 2016. She joined politics after having a successful thriving career in Tinseltown, which helped her to retain the image even after her death. Jayalalitha held the post of General Secretary of the party for many years after the passing away of founder MGR. After her demise, her confidant V.K. Sasikala became the General Secretary of the party. Now that Sasikala has been expelled from the party and the party is being handled by a team of the party leaders in various capacities, it is to be seen whether Sasikala will continue with her present status quo after completing her sentence of 4 years imprisonment in the disproportionate assets case. Joy, AN News, reporting from Coimbatore.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi remembered former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha on her birth anniversary today. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said she is widely admired for her pro-people policies and efforts to empower the downtrodden. He added that she also made noteworthy efforts to empower Nari Shakti. Mr. Modi said he will always cherish his interactions with her.
Union government has asked public sector banks to facilitate quick and easy loan disbursal under the PM Swanidhi scheme. The Housing and Urban Development Ministry, in a letter written to the banks, has suggested several measures to increase the outreach of the scheme, extending collateral-free loans to the street vendors in the country. It said that since the street vendors mostly rely on credit from informal sources, not much emphasis should be laid on their CIBIL score alone for disbursement of loans. It also added that the banks need to review their guidelines for extending credit to the vendors having low CIBIL score under this scheme. The Housing and Urban Development Ministry has also informed that camps will be held in various cities across the country by the bank officials to facilitate one-stop solution for the beneficiaries. The ministry also informed that it has received nearly 4 million loan applications under the scheme till date, out of which over 2 million have already been sanctioned. The credit rating agency, ICRA, said that India's economic recovery has entered into a consolidation phase in January 2021. The agency said that 6 indicators have witnessed an improved year-on-year performance in January 2021 relative to December 2020, namely non-oil exports, electricity generation, rail freight traffic, scooter production, diesel consumption, and domestic airline traffic. It added that the growth indicators continue to promise the upward and sustainable economic recovery. You're listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government is committed for transforming lives of farmers in the country. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates world's largest cricket stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad, stadium named as Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium. Home Minister Amit Shah says Ahmedabad has become a world-class sports hub. Government directs public sector banks to facilitate quick and easy loan disbursal under the PM Swanidhi scheme. India's economic recovery entered into a consolidation phase in January 2021, says credit rating agency ICRA. Supreme Court dismisses petitions seeking extra chance for last attempt civil service examination 2020. UPSC adds lay as exam center for civil services candidates from Ladakh. Centre deputes high-level multidisciplinary teams to 10 states for COVID response and management. National COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 97.25%. Over 1.21 lakh people vaccinated so far. Schools reopened in Telangana for class 6 to 8 from today. And in cricket, India to take on England in third test this afternoon in Ahmedabad. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News. The Centre has deputed high-level multidisciplinary teams to 10 states for supporting them in public health measures for targeted COVID response and management. The 3-member multidisciplinary teams are headed by Joint Secretary-level officers in the Health Ministry. These teams, which have rushed to the states, including Maharashtra, Kerala, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal and Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir will work closely with the state and local administration in order to ascertain reasons for the recent surge in the number of COVID-19 cases. The centre has also written to Maharashtra, Kerala, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab and Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which have been witnessing a rise in daily COVID cases along with decreasing proportion of RT-PCR tests. In the letter written by the Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan, he exhorted the state administration to focus on undertaking aggressive measures to break the chain of transmission and to ensure amplification of RT-PCR tests. These states' UTs have been advised to increase testing in a focused manner in the affected districts with the appropriate split of RT-PCR and rapid antigen tests. The centre has reminded the state and union territories that any laxity in implementing stringent measures to curb the spread, especially in view of new strain of virus observed in certain countries, could compound the situation. The Union Health Secretary has separately requested the Chief Secretaries of 10 states and UTs to provide time to the high-level central teams to debrief the respective Chief Secretaries at the conclusion of their visits.
The COVID-19 recovery rate in the country presently stands at 97.25%. Health Ministry said 14,037 people were discharged after recovery during the last 24 hours. Till now, 1,07,26,702 people have recovered from COVID-19 infection. In the last 24 hours, 13,742 new cases were reported. With this, total number of cases have reached 1,10,30,176. The ministry said 104 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. So far, 1,21,65,598 beneficiaries have been vaccinated. In Telangana, direct teaching for students of standard 6 to 8 has begun in schools across the state today. The state government has asked management of schools both in private and public sector to commence classes for standard 6 to 8 by 1st of March following increasing demand from parents. It may be recalled that the direct teaching for standards 9th and 10th has been underway. Our correspondent reports that the state government has issued guidelines for the managements to keep school premises safe for both teachers and students.
Over 17 lakh students of 6th to 8th standard will have direct learning at their schools in Telangana from today onwards. However, the state government has given time for beginning classes till 1st March for the school managements. The government has taken the decision to reopen classes for 6th to 8th standards following smooth functioning of direct classes for 9th and 10th standard students from 1st of this month. Besides, growing demand from parents and school managements also one of the reasons to begin direct teaching. However, the government has made the written consent of parents a must for allowing students to attend classes, keeping in view their safety, and also made compulsory maintenance of COVID guidelines on the school campuses to prevent spread of coronavirus. Meanwhile, the online classes will also continue for the benefit of those children who are not willing to attend classes directly. Lakshmi, AIR News, Hyderabad.
The Union Health Ministry has asked Madhya Pradesh along with some other states including Maharashtra, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir and Chhattisgarh to expedite the vaccination of healthcare and frontline workers so as to confer immunity in the shortest possible time frame in the wake of a rising trend of COVID-19 cases and positivity rate in some districts. More from our correspondent.
In a letter to the Madhya Pradesh government, centre has advised state to speed up vaccination in the state, particularly in 3 districts, Indore, Bhopal and Baitul. Additional Chief Secretary Health Mohammad Suleiman informed that 75% target has been achieved in the joint vaccination of health and frontline workers. Health department is gearing up to speed up a vaccination drive in the state. Meanwhile, state reported 248 fresh COVID cases yesterday while 200 recovered from infection. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Odisha, more than 5,70,000 beneficiaries have been vaccinated against COVID-19. Among them, about 4,47,000 are healthcare workers and above 1,30,000 beneficiaries are frontline workers. More from our correspondent.
Yesterday alone, the state vaccinated above 11,500 beneficiaries, with about 7,700 being inoculated. with the second vaccine source. The state had arranged 127 sites to vaccinate both the healthcare workers and the frontline workers. Meanwhile, COVID-19 active caseload of the state has gone further down to 625, with 68 fresh cases as against 77 recoveries having been reported during the last 24 hours. Giresh Chandradas, EIR News, Bhubaneswar.
India has started shipping COVID-19 vaccines to Africa under the COVAX facility. Ministry of External Affairs spokesman Anurag Srivastava called it commitment to help the world with COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access, abbreviated as COVAX, is a global initiative aimed at equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines led by the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, the World Health Organization WHO, the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, and others. After the shipment was dispatched yesterday, Mr. Srivastava tweeted, India is fulfilling its commitment to help the world with COVID-19 vaccines. Last month, the MEA announced that India plans to supply 1 crore or 10 million vaccine doses to Africa and 10 lakh to United Nations health workers.
The Supreme Court today dismissed the petition filed by aspirants seeking an extra attempt in civil services examination conducted by the Union Public Service Commission for those who had exhausted their last attempt in October 2020. The petitioners, who had given their last attempt in Civil Service Examination 2020, had sought for an extra chance, citing difficulties created by COVID-19 pandemic and the national lockdown. They had argued that the pandemic affected their preparation. The centre had initially made an offer to give extra attempts subject to the age bar. However, the petitioners argued for age relaxation as well. Detailed reasons for the dismissal of the petition will be known when the full copy of the judgment is made available. The Civil Services Preliminary Examination was scheduled for 31st of May last year and was rescheduled for 4th of October due to COVID-19 pandemic. In a first of its kind, the Union Public Service Commission UPSC has opened a new centre for the Civil Services Examination in Leh for the candidates from Union Territory of Ladakh. Preliminary exam will be held on 27th of June this year. More from our Leh correspondent.
Sanctioning of new Centre for Civil Services Examination in Leh is a great relief for the aspiring candidates. Leh will be the 73rd centre in the country to hold the preliminary examination for civil services on 27th of June this year. In a communication to the UT Ladakh advisor Umang Narula, the UPSC secretary Vasudha Mishra informed the decision to allocate a centre in Leh for Ladakh. Leh Deputy Commissioner will be the coordinating supervisor for the Leh centre. The supervisor has to ensure the accessibility, infrastructure and other parameters as prescribed by the UPSC at the exam venues. At least 800 candidates are expected to attend the civil's preliminary exam from the Union Territory Ladakh. After successfully conducting the NEET exam amidst COVID pandemic, now UT administration is taking the civil's exam prestigiously and making all efforts to meet the UPSC indicated list of points by the cut-off dates. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
Deputy Election Commissioner and in charge of West Bengal, Sudeep Jain, will be visiting the state to oversee the preparedness for the upcoming assembly elections. According to sources, Mr. Jain is scheduled to hold a series of meetings tomorrow. He will be meeting with divisional commissioners, district election officers, IGPs, DIGs, police superintendents and commissioners. According to sources, a guideline regarding deployment of central forces may be chalked out in the meetings. Already a 3-member committee has been formed at state level to look after the deployment of central forces. The committee comprises the Chief Electoral Officer, ADG Law and Order, and the DIG BSF South Bengal, who is the state coordinator of the central forces deployed in the state. Central forces started arriving in poll-bound West Bengal last Saturday, and they are engaged in route march and area domination to instill confidence among voters. The first India Toy Fair 2021 is being organized on a virtual platform from the 27th of February to the 2nd of March, with a view to boost toy manufacturing in the country and improve its global market share in line with the theme of Atmanirbhar Bharat. This first-of-its-kind initiative aims to bring together all stakeholders of the Indian toy industry to create sustainable linkages. The toy maker from Karnataka, Kido, is one of the participants in the fair. The managing director of Kido, Ms. Geeta Sridhar, told AIR News that the fair provides a big platform for the Indian toy manufacturers to grow globally.
Definitely, it's a big platform for us to grow and to know people all over India, what is happening where and in which state and how competitive we are, and we can judge ourselves and see what is the outcome. And with the help of what the government is talking today, I think should be doing excellently well in the coming future years. And I thank our Prime Minister and Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Yediyurappa, once again for having brought this.
ग्लोबल टॉय इंडस्ट्री 7 लाख करोड़ रुपए से भी अधिक की टीम अप फॉर टॉयज.
The Government of India is organizing India's first ever, the India Toy Fair. Indian local toy manufacturers march forward for Atmanirbhar Bharat. It's time to get vocal for your remarkable local. From 27th February to 2nd March, must come forward to get registered online at www.theindiatoyfair.in.
Paddy procurement for the kharif season of 2020-21 has seen an increase of over 16% as compared to the corresponding period last year. The centre has informed that over 658 lakh metric tons of paddy has been purchased till yesterday in the ongoing kharif marketing season. Out of the total purchase, Punjab alone has contributed over 30% of total procurement. Over 95 lakh farmers have already benefited from the ongoing procurement operations with MSP value of over 1,24,000 crore rupees. The government has said the process of procurement of kharif crops at MSP from farmers is continuing smoothly in the states and UTs of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Jharkhand, Assam, Karnataka, West Bengal and Tripura.
In Nepal, the political uncertainty regarding the fate of Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli's government continues. According to reports, Mr. Oli may not tender his resignation immediately. The development assumes significance as the Nepal Supreme Court has overturned Oli's government's decision to dissolve the House of Representatives. In cricket, England have won the toss and elected to bat first in the third test of the 4-match series between India and England at Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium, Motera in Ahmedabad. The 4-match test series between India and England is currently levelled at 1-1 after India won the second test at the Chepauk Stadium in Chennai by 317 runs. India's chances of earning a World Test Championship final spot depends upon the outcome of the remaining tests, and hence India is fielding their strongest bowling attack of the series so far.
And now a look at the weather update. National capital Delhi experienced mist in the morning. The minimum temperature was 12 degrees Celsius. Maximum is expected to be around 31 degrees. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky with temperature varying from 18 to 33 degrees. In Chennai, sky will be partly cloudy. Lower limit of temperature was 22 degrees. Upper limit will be around 32. In Kolkata, minimum temperature was 20 degrees. Maximum would be 32. Srinagar may witness thunderstorm with rain. Temperature will hover between 4 and 15 degrees Celsius. Jammu will witness generally cloudy sky towards afternoon or evening. Lower limit of temperature was 13 degrees. Upper limit may be nearly 25. Leh is having generally cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was minus 6 degrees Celsius, while maximum may be around 10 degrees. Gilgit is having generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature may hover between 6 and 19 degrees. Muzaffarabad will witness thunderstorm with rain. Temperature will fluctuate between 9 and 17 degrees Celsius. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government is committed for transforming lives of farmers in the country. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates world's largest cricket stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad, stadium named as Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium. Home Minister Amit Shah says Ahmedabad has become a world-class sports hub. Government directs public sector banks to facilitate quick and easy loan disbursal under the PM Swanidhi scheme. India's economic recovery entered into a consolidation phase in January 2021, says credit rating agency ICRA. Supreme Court dismisses petitions seeking extra chance for last attempt civil service examination 2020. UPSC adds Leh as exam centre for civil service candidates from Ladakh. Centre deputes high-level multidisciplinary teams to 10 states for COVID response and management. National COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 97.25%, over 1,21 lakh people vaccinated so far. Schools reopen in Telangana for classes 6th to 8th from today. And in cricket, India to take on England in third test this afternoon in Ahmedabad. And with that, we end the midday news.